This is video of a woman going on a racist rant against Asian Americans, and apparently it's not the only incident like it.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're looking at infamous moments where rude and entitled people were put behind bars for their terrible actions.
The details of this case, quote, shocking, vile, cruel, degrading, and disturbing.
Chipotle Karen. Fast food restaurants seemingly bring out the worst in Karens. In 2023, Rosemary Hain was at a Chipotle in Parma, Ohio. However, she wasn't pleased with her burrito bowl and decided to berate a teenage worker before Emily Russell stepped in for her colleague. The rage-filled Hain threw the hot food into Russell's face before making a break for it.
Rosemary Hain told the judge she responded the way she did because the food was disgusting and not what she wanted.
The police later arrested the burrito bandit, and she was brought to court on an assault charge. Hain pled guilty to the charge and was sentenced to 180 days in jail, with 90 days suspended, along with a fine. However, she agreed to work at a fast food restaurant for 2 months to reduce her sentence to 30 days behind bars.
Why should the city taxpayers pay for her and feed her for 90 days in jail if I can teach her a sense of empathy?
Picasso Puncher. Some people will do anything to get famous, even if it means desecrating a piece of art history. In 2019, Shaquille Ryan Massey went to the Tate Modern in London, England. But instead of learning from the art for his own artistic ambitions, he wanted his name in the headlines. Massey spotted Pablo Picasso's 1944 piece, Bust of a Woman, and enacted his plan. He sprinted forward and punched the safety glass with a wrapped hand, ripping the 20 million pound valued painting. The artwork immediately went under an 18-month restorative process that cost £350,000. Massey got fame of a certain sort from his vandalism. He also got 18 months in jail. Political problem. Barbara Fielding Morris was known for her vile racist outlook and publicly speaking about white supremacy and issuing anti-Semitic statements.
She's a Nazi, George, a Nazi.
In 2017, Fielding Morris even ran to be an independent member of Parliament in Stoke-on-Trent Central in England. Unsurprisingly, she didn't get close to being elected, but through her blog, she continued stirring as much hate as possible. That came to an end in 2018 when she was arrested for racial hatred. Fielding Morris showcased her vile behavior throughout the court case, representing herself and presenting more racism and conspiracies as mitigation. Unsurprisingly, Fielding Morris was found guilty, admonished by the judge for her sinister behavior, and sentenced to 12 months. Tesco Terror. A couple of days before Christmas in 2018, shoppers were looking for food and gifts at a Tesco supermarket in Rickmansworth, England. However, Lucy Turner decided that she'd do some shoplifting with two friends. The duo stole 174 pounds worth of drinks as Turner acted as the getaway driver.
What is she doing?
Tesco employee Daniel Wood went after the group to stop them from leaving the parking lot. However, Turner drove into Woods, causing serious injury by fracturing the worker's back. Other workers and shoppers attempted to stop the car, repeatedly striking it. Yet the thieving car smashed into parked vehicles to escape. In 2019, the dangerous driver was sentenced to 3 years and 2 months in prison for her terrible attack. The last straw. On New Year's Eve 2018, Daniel Taylor was at a McDonald's in St. Petersburg, Florida. However, his evening was ruined as he couldn't find where the straws were.
The law now, we're not allowed to have straws in the lobby, but you can request one.
That was the last straw. Bianduti says he became livid, so she hit record.
Instead of handling it rationally, he argued with worker Yasmin James before lunging for her to drag her over the counter.
Why are you grabbing me? I just didn't understand, what was his intention?
Unfortunately for Taylor, James had some boxing training and soon got the upper hand with several punches to his face. Eventually, other workers stepped in to separate the pair. Taylor, who reportedly kicked another employee as he left, was later arrested for his attacks. In 2019, he pleaded no contest to 2 counts of battery and received 60 days in jail, plus either a fine or community service.
Boy, first of all, you can't grab someone like that. And second of all, there is always someone recording.
Yep, just defending herself.
That's right.
Festive Jail. Well, so much for the holidays being a time for peace, love, and joy. None of that was to be found when Sharna Walker was arrested in Birmingham, England after launching a racist tirade against bouncer Tristan Price in May 2021. Price had simply been doing his job by asking Walker and her friends to leave for their unruly behavior, and she reacted in the worst way possible, taking her verbal abuse one step further by smashing in the bar's front door and spitting at him. She was subsequently banned from the establishment and charged 2 days later. Walker's sentence would arrive just in time for the Christmas season, as she was given 14 weeks behind bars for criminal damage and aggravated assault. Choosing jail. In 2020, various Black Lives Matter protests took place globally. But rather than support a good cause, Stephanie Rapkin took a very different approach. The lawyer drove to Shorewood, Wisconsin and blocked a march with her car. When the protesters asked for her to move, Rapkin spat at teenager Eric Lucas, who had helped organize the event.
A white woman caught on camera spitting on a young black protester.
After being arrested and then released due to COVID restrictions, people turned up at her property to protest. Rapkin reportedly attacked the activists and the police.
What are you doing?
I am
doing?
In 2023, she was found guilty of disorderly conduct. The judge offered her the option to undertake 100 hours of community service and a year of probation. Instead, Rapkin rejected that and opted for 60 days in jail.
Your Honor, I am outright refusing the probation.
A defendant has the right to reject probation.
She does.
Spewing racism at those helping.
Vicky Momberg's last few minutes of freedom, now paying the price for her racist rant.
Even when getting support for something, some Karens can't help but leak their toxic thoughts. In 2016, 2 police officers went to help Vicky Momberg at a parking lot in Johannesburg, South Africa, whose car had been broken into. Trying to help her with the issue, the cops and emergency dispatchers were subjected to a racist tirade from Momberg, filled with apartheid-era slurs.
First, while talking to a 10111 call center agent, and then to a policeman assisting her after a smash and grab.
In 2018, Momberg was found guilty of 4 counts of crimen injuria, which is when a person purposely tarnishes another's dignity. Momberg was sentenced to 3 years in jail, one of which was suspended.
The court looks at the circumstances and the actions of Ms. Momberg as intentional and racial.
She was released in 2019 as part of a prison remission program. Mailing racism.
The details of this case, quote, shocking, vile, cruel, degrading, and disturbing.
In 2020, instead of filling in time during the pandemic by baking banana bread like everyone else, Suzanne Kraft took the term neighbor from hell to a whole other level. She was seemingly upset with a family who lived nearby her in Louisville, Kentucky, simply for being interracial. Kraft sent threatening letters to the Pineda family, sometimes including bullets.
Those threats included spray painting racial slurs on the family's driveway, threatening to run over their 9-year-old daughter.
Even after getting a non-contact order, the vile resident wouldn't stop her harassments. Kraft also has a history of ridiculing other neighbors by drawing racial symbols on the property and uttering slurs at them. In 2023, she was found guilty of 5 counts of mailing threatening communications.
Any apology she could ever offer would be insincere at this point.
Kraft was sentenced to 9 years in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Intolerance in Torrance.
This is video of a woman going on a racist rant against Asian Americans, and apparently it's not the only incident like it.
In 2020, Torrance, California was plagued by the presence of Lena Hernandez. She was recorded a couple of times wandering around parks to harass folks with Asian heritage by uttering racist insults and demanding they go back to their country. While that was drawing attention, another story came to light to get folks a bit of justice. In 2019, Hernandez was verbally abusing an employee at a shopping center. When Casey Lynn Salmoneau stepped in, Hernandez attacked her, pushing her to the ground.
She says it happened in a restroom where there are no security cameras, but she took pictures on her phone as Hernandez walked away from the alleged attack.
After ignoring court summons, the Torrance Terror was arrested and taken to a judge in 2020. Hernandez was found guilty of the assault and sentenced to 45 days in jail, 3 years of probation, and a year of anger management.
What she did was violent. It was a violent attack to me. So it should have been the maximum amount of 6 months.
Is there a famous Karen incident that you believe should have ended with the culprit going to jail, yet they didn't? Let us know below.
There is an African-American man. I'm in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.